Have you seen those pictures of adoptable dogs with the really cute, fresh flower collars and crowns? Have you been wanting to do that for your animal rescue or cause? Well, you're in luck. We recently did the Spring Me from the Shelter photo session. I'm going to share all the fragrant details with you coming right up. Hi, Monique Renee here of Silver Paw Studio, a photographer, and every week here on this YouTube channel I post a video that helps you with the photography of rescue animals, snapshots of your pets, or give you some pro pet photographer insights. In order to not miss any of those episodes, be sure to pause the subscribe button and of course the little bell. For the 5th year in a row this spring, we organized the Spring Me from the Shelter portrait session for Animal House Rescue and Grooming here in Fort Collins, Colorado. In this video, I'm going to walk you through some of the basic steps of organizing this type of event so you can plan one for this spring or even get ready for next spring. First thing to keep in mind is that this is a collaborative effort. So it took a lot of people coordinating to make this type of session come together. We have Bath Garden Center, who provided the space to have the event in. Rhea from Nature's Grace Design made all of the flower collars and crowns. And we have, of course, Animal House Rescue and Grooming and their staff, volunteers, and fosters. And of course, my studio, all came together to make this happen. Each year, about a month in advance, I contact everyone to find out what would be a good day to hold the event. I want to make sure that the garden center isn't having an event, that the florist isn't working on a wedding that day, that Animal House doesn't have a planning meeting. Everyone's schedules need to be open for about 3 hours. We chose a Saturday so that it's convenient for fosters, but for about 3 hours on a Saturday. So I do reach out about a month in advance to coordinate that with everybody. So if you're thinking about doing this type of event, keep in mind everyone's schedules. This year, I spearheaded a fundraiser that happened just after the adoptable dog photos. So we did adoptable dogs in the morning from 9 to noon, and then from 12:30 to 3:30, we sold portrait sessions to the public so they could have their dogs come in and wear the flower collars too, with a big portion of those proceeds also going to the shelter. Now, the rescue chooses which dogs come to this event, and generally it's the dogs that have been in foster care the longest, or have special needs, or just need new updated pictures. This year, we had quite the variety of pups. We have the foster parents send Rhea the measurements of each dog's collar and a little snapshot, so she knows about how big to make the collar and what colors would complement that particular dog. Another thing that Rhea keeps in mind is the types of flowers and greenery that she uses. She wants to make sure that the flowers aren't too heavy, that they don't have thorns, and if a dog accidentally ingests any piece of it, they won't get sick. So lots of great things you can learn from your florist. Now, in my case, Rhea does have to special order the flowers in, and actually the garden center sponsors the cost of the flowers, which is amazing. And if you're lucky, you might be able to work something out with your garden center that can do that, or your florist. But it does take time sometimes to get enough flowers in of the kind that you want. Common consideration is how to even attach these and make them stay on the dog comfortably. Well, we've tried a few different ways over the years and ended up with just making a loop and a hook with the flower wire at the ends, and we often will augment that with a nice soft pipe cleaner or like a coated wire, and those can just gently hook together while the dog's wearing them. These are very short sessions, so they only need to stay on a short amount of time. An alternative is to make loops in both ends, tie a ribbon, and then the ribbon will loosely secure the collar or the crown to the pup. Sometimes the dog gets there and they're a little bigger or a little smaller than we kind of envisioned. And so Rhea makes them where we can just pluck off flowers and greenery as we need, and then the wire just gets a little bit shorter. So super easy. Now, some dogs won't tolerate having the flower collars or crowns on, and so I have pots set aside that we can string the crown along a pot, or we can just bring in pots of flowers and they can stand behind the pots. We did have a dog this year that was really too scared to wear a collar or a crown, and so then she just stood amongst the flowers. And your florist will tell you this, but if you are buying flowers from another location and bringing them, keep them in a cool place, either in an actual cooler or in a cooler at the greenhouse. It really helps keep these nice and fresh. 3 hours doesn't seem very long, but the flowers can wilt fairly quickly. During the photo sessions, we always have the animal foster parent there, a volunteer or staff member from the shelter, and myself. And that's kind of a minimum you need for these sessions. They are super short, maybe about 10 minutes long, but it's nice to have all those people there helping. Bath Garden Center is very generous and lets me rearrange all the plants into a nice little backdrop. I have a lot of experience in greenhouses. My mom is a horticulture major, and so I feel super confident moving all the plants around. But if you don't, just ask the garden center and I'm sure they will find someone that can help you arrange all the plants and do that safely for the plants and make it pretty. Have you ever tried to photograph dogs with flower collars or crowns on? Tell me about it in the comments below. I'd love to know. For technical considerations, this is a perfect event to have in early spring because it's in a greenhouse out of the elements. And if you're in northern Colorado and you saw my Bombo Genesis video, we often get snow in the winter time here. So being inside a nice warm greenhouse is perfect in the early spring. And also, if you have a nice glass or opaque ceiling, you have lots and lots of light coming in. So that's another huge benefit to having a photo session in a greenhouse or a nursery. I do add a little pop of sparkle to fill in a little bit in their eyes with a little speed light. Do what you can in your area. You can even use a reflector. This year, I even went out and bought a little brown indoor-outdoor carpet because otherwise it's kind of just a concrete floor with a drain in it. But for technical needs, you really don't need a whole lot of gear to make this kind of a photo session happen. Now, for safety, I have all of these dogs on leashes. This is happening during open hours for the greenhouse. There is a table for the rescue out front so people from the public can come in and learn about the organization and the animals. There's people shopping for plants. So always have the dogs on a leash and then I just edit them out later. My goal always is to try to get at least 3 usable images, like a tight, a middle, and a wide, sitting, standing, looking sideways. Get a variety of images. You can do that pretty quickly, even in this small of a set. I'm not always super excited to have them lay down with these big flower collars on because often they'll get squished or they'll accidentally step on them. But if they lay down nice and calm and naturally, and it looks like it's going well, snap those pictures, of course. And with any adoptable animal images, be sure to edit them as soon as you can after the event. These dogs are looking for a home right now and can really use these spruced up, unique images. We have also used these images to create posters, to create canvas prints to sell at the gala and auctions. You can make cards, you can do all kinds of other things with these images for the benefit of the shelter as well. Is this a project that you think you'll try now that you've seen this video? If you have any other questions, just go ahead and type them in the comments and I will be sure to answer them. And that's pretty much it. That is a short video on how you can make Spring Me from the Shelter flower collar portraits happen for your animal rescue or cause. There's a few moving pieces, but if everyone collaborates and works together, boy, you can have some amazing, pretty images. And really, I call this the best smelling session of the year. If you like this video, be sure to share it with someone else you think might like it. That'd be awesome. And of course, be sure to paw the subscribe and the notification bell, right? So you know when the next video airs. And as always, I wish you many woofs, purrs, and TREATS's.